This is going to be your guide for making a tempered Arkveld farming build in Monster Hunter Wilds. So the crazy thing is, the Arkveld Alpha and Beta set is effectively the same stats as the Guardian one. That means you don't have to struggle against tempered Arkveld to upgrade your gear sets, you just fight the regular one. That farms all the materials you need for the basic Arkveld Alpha and Beta sets, and then the Guardian one is actually going to be fighting the other tempered Apex monsters to get their gems, and then you can upgrade it from there. But there's almost no difference. Really, it just kind of seems like you want the beta set for the more decorations, and then you just have like base weakness exploit. So the power gain from Arkveld to Guardian Arkveld actually isn't that crazy, and it does come down to the skills where we have restoring a moderate amount of health when destroying a wound on a large monster with the Decimator. So you get Decimator, and then you farm wounds, and then you stay in the fight. But even then, the Arkveld set has a good skill as well, that you regenerate a small amount of health when comboing off on a monster, and the recovery varies by weapon. So you're not even like doing it for the set bonus either. So your main decision is going to come down to your playstyle and which set you choose, because the beta set is going to give you more of the gem sockets, and it's going to be a more offensive set with the converting element, weakness exploit, and stuff like that. But then we have the elemental absorption on the alpha set. So do you want to get tankier after eating dragon damage, or do you want to exploit the dragon weakness of Arkveld and then just pop off even harder? I'm going supportive horn, so I'm going to build the alpha set. And I have these metal greaves. I think I'm just going to keep them because bleeding resistance 3 and flinch free is kind of crazy. And because I already have Arkveld gems from defeating the tempered Arkveld, I'm going to make a choice to go for the beta male, because that has a 3-star gem slot. So you lose 1 flare, and then you can put in a 3 that you want. So that's also pretty crazy. Also, the upgrade cost on these are absolutely crazy. What do you mean 33 hard armor spheres? Plus a heavy armor sphere isn't even enough to max it out. Check the upgrade cost, because going into the one that cost 10,000 was kind of a waste for me. I was just like, oh, these things are expensive, but then the Guardian one is 5,000 for the male. So we'll just upgrade that. And there's also the group skills, but those aren't really too important. So the alpha set has Fortify, which means when you get KO'd, you come back stronger. Just don't die, no skill issue, and it doesn't matter. Then we have Diversion, so this is going to give you like a soft. Now that might seem kind of weird because I said, oh, this is the more defensive set on the alpha one, but it's really just going to be in the headpiece and chest piece. So you can get your absorption, your elemental absorption off of that, then you can run the beta pieces, and that's going to give you the attention. Also, if you are going offensive, that is something to note, so you don't accidentally just like make all of the attention go onto you and you can't combo off as much. So Diversion might have to build around it, and then the other sets we have Wilk Burst, which is whatever, and Ward of Wyveria, which is situational, that you just get elemental and unique damage reduction while in the ruins of Wyveria. So that's kind of like its own unique set thing, that if you're doing farming and hunts in there, yeah, then you can just run like 3 pieces of this, and you're just stronger for free. You can really just kind of put together whatever gear set you want, and then you farm the high rank Arkveld with that, just SOS or join SOS, get into the group, get all the pieces, and then you make this and upgrade it, and you just have the flat 66 defense and really good stuff to work with. Now, what about decos? Well, this is setting up for getting ready for farming, which means as you get deco drops, you go and check them out and see if they go into your playstyle to socket them into your gear. So what I did was I just melded a lot of tier 1 stuff, like, oh, kind of griefing to take level 2 slots and then just put in dragon resistance. But I have max dragon resistance, I have a level 4 defense charm, and then everything else is just defense jewel. I'm tank support horn. I can just stat check instead of put the crazy stuff on, but there's a lot of crazy damage buffs that you can put onto your armor, such as the chain jewel for burst, that you get a stat boost after successive hits, and then there's the foray jewel. So we actually saw foray on some of these other pieces, and that gives you huge damage buffs against monsters that have poison or paralysis. So that goes into its own playstyle. And then Flare, we also saw Flare on the sets because we're about busting open wounds and getting benefits off of that. So you can stack Flare on top of it to increase the level. So you can either go with the natural synergies of the set or put in other jewels that go into your playstyle. So if you're doing counterattacks, well, then you can just get a huge adrenaline rush burst of attack if you want to socket that in. Also, I'm seeing more and more discussion about people saying, yo, if you've got a level 1 slot open, you should put in the shockproof because it prevents you from, like, hitting and staggering people in multiplayer. So I haven't really noticed what's going on with team bopping, but if that's kind of an issue, then yeah, it seems like the baseline meta stuff is throw on a shockproof jewel, that way you don't hurt others and others don't hurt you. And because it's a level 1 gem, you can get a guaranteed meld at the melding pot. And because the jewels are random, at least until you hit Hunter rank 100, and then you can meld the level 2 jewels, it's not like you're chasing anything. You just kind of keep rolling, and then you go, oh wait, that's just an upgrade. I'm putting it in. So when it comes to like decorations on the build, that's not what a guide is for, because everyone's going to play a little different, and the benefits are kind of self-evident, unless you're trying to copy a meta build. But we're not there yet, because you just got your first pieces of Guardian armor. So mostly it's fight base Arkveld, and as you can see, just the quest versus the investigations don't even have different quest rewards. It's going to be the bonus rewards on the investigations. But if you can't find an investigation, or for some reason you're not able to get into SOSs or something, you can actually just do the quest, call an SOS, beat it, get the base materials, and then you make your Arkveld high rank sets. And maybe it feels weird because it's too simple that, oh, you just fight Arkveld, and then that gives you the gear that's like the endgame gear, and then you can use that to fight Tempered really easy. That's really all there is to it. There's no in-between step or in-between gear necessary. You just kind of farm until you get all the pieces, and then you go to Tempered, and that's it, unless you want like a really specific gear for a really specific build. But you still want to grind Tempered for a while, because then it just becomes easier to go into the lower rank beasts, even the other Apex ones, and then you just get any piece you want for any weapon or any armor, and it just comes together pretty nice. And if somehow you're struggling with that, just meld some dragon resistance gems, meld some defense resistance gems, and stat check the boss until you can make the really good armor. So that's all there is to it. You're not really like missing anything if there's a special armor set or anything crazy. It's like, nope, the best in-game armor is what you need to go for, and it's not difficult to get or set up, and then you optimize and min-max as you go. And if anything, then it's just going to be like different defensive gems or like status resistant gems, depending on if you're farming the other high rank stuff. So now I'm just going to go and do my setup, and we're going to play out this fight. So right now I'm just going for defense up, attack up, and I've been trying to mix it up, going Bone Horn and Healing Horn, and just kind of making everyone's life cozy. So we're going to just do some of that. Okay, so we got a lot of rewards, and then we got the big Hunter Symbol 3. That's a lot of grind right there, and my goodness. So yeah, it felt a little slow at 15 minutes, but we did it, and it was cozy, and there were no faints because I'm Healing Horn and it's free. And then we get a level and a half, and everything just kind of goes up. And it's just kind of moderately weak to everything. So if you've been going for a poison build or paralysis build or going for some kind of status, yeah, it's got 2 stars. The in-game guide tells you the effectiveness and the items and stuff. So it's just like a standard fight that your build can just naturally go into. Again, until you get to like the super in-game giga min-max farming, which we're not there yet. And then we can see the reward difference where, yeah, we can get the ancient orbs, which is why you want to transition from the high rank Arkveld into the tempered Arkveld, because, oh, we get the ancient fragments and ancient orbs and heavy armor spheres, which is really good when the armor upgrading costs so much. And if you see a double fight, you want to join that immediately, zero hesitation, before everyone else piles into it. Also, if that happens on your map, that's when you save the investigation, and then you can run it back and do SOSs, and that keeps the community sustained. Also, after the Nightflower Pollen nerf, this is how the game was intended to be played by Capcom. That you go for your big armor sphering farm here, as well as getting your ancient orb grinding. It's on repeat. It's classic Monster Hunter. If you didn't farm enough Nightflower Pollen, this is where you're supposed to get all of your ancient orbs and all of your fragments to do your weapon crafting and stuff, and then you just get tons of extra resources and enough armor spheres to do whatever you want. So there we go, guys. Hope you all enjoy the video. Hope you have a nice day. Thank you very much for watching.